Dropshipping.
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 My name is Hader, and in 2019, when the COVID pandemic first started and I lost my job, I heard about dropshipping as a quick and easy method to start making money online from the comfort of my own home. Now, if you watch this video to the end, one of two things is going to happen. Your aspirations and dreams of building quick wealth online using dropshipping is going to be destroyed. Or number two, you'll be inspired to focus and take control of your own destiny. So aside from some small projects I have on the go, e-commerce is my primary source of income at the moment. But no, I saw zero success for 18 months when I first started to set out to try and build wealth using this online method. I'm going to teach you how to fail the way I did in the start of my journey, and I'm also going to teach you how to turn on the switch in your brain from failure into success. So let me know if this is something that's familiar to you. You've either tried dropshipping and it never worked the first time round, or you've just heard about it and want to get going. You want to spend as little money as possible. You want to just find a product, set up a store, and just get customers to start buying your product. So this is exactly where I was 4 years ago when I first heard about dropshipping, and I just recently lost my job due to the COVID pandemic, so I didn't have a huge budget for my business. I decided to order a sample of products from Amazon, took some basic pictures, and ran some basic Facebook ads. After about a week, I'd had about 9 sales, so I was feeling really lucky. I was feeling really good. I thought I'd made all the right moves. So the product was an inflatable lounger, and I thought, you know what, I've made it. I'm really going to make a business out of this. Ultimately, my luck ran out pretty quickly. I stopped getting sales. My store was shut down because I'd copied a competitor's text, images, and ads. But of course, I thought at this point, I understand the system. I know how to make sales, so I tried again with a new product. So yeah, I had a bit of an ego at this time. I didn't really understand that a few sales didn't mean that I was just about to build a long-term and sustainable business. There wasn't really any planning or any understanding of marketing, systems, and margin. So I tried the same thing again, and it didn't work. I tried another 5 or 6 products, and then my ego bubble just burst. So I learned pretty quickly at that point that if you see a few sales and you think you've made it, reality is going to hit you pretty hard and pretty fast. So my first lesson in e-commerce: if you think you know it all and you don't need to develop the skills or understanding of the systems to make it work, then things are going to come crashing down real fast. From watching videos online and reading, I thought it was just a few step process and it was just easy to build a business just following a basic guide. But in reality, with dropshipping, the real success only comes from treating it as a real business. So trying your luck with a product is not the same as testing a product or testing a website. There's a big difference there, and I didn't realize it at the time. So yeah, I got humbled very quickly. So my advice to having a serious growth mindset is to switch your mental model into a learning mindset. So you need to become a student that's willing to observe, willing to absorb information, rather than have a gambler's or scarcity mindset. The world won't give it to you on a silver platter, whatever business you're thinking of getting into. Do I deserve the win? Did I sacrifice my time, my money? Did I really try and get uncomfortable and learn new skills? I didn't deserve it at that time. I didn't really understand in any kind of depth why I'd picked that product, how I'd built my website, or even how to market the product. So how does that translate in dropshipping? I didn't really understand what a winning product really looks like. I didn't understand the buyer's mentality or what value or reason anybody has to buy anything from me. There was no understanding of how the websites that I was creating were actually going to funnel customers into buying from me. So in essence, I didn't see dropshipping as a real business. I saw it as like a get-rich-quick scheme, just a few steps, and you can really build success from that. And so this is, for me, primarily why most people that start dropshipping stores fail. They don't see dropshipping as a real business. So dropshipping is a full-scale business. The only difference is that you don't actually stock the products yourself. And learning to sell dropshipping products isn't any different to learning to sell anything, because you're competing with real people and real businesses. People buy from Amazon, people buy from physical stores, and also people buy from established businesses. You need to stop thinking that you're competing with other people in the dropshipping space. You're competing with other businesses. So stop learning the skills that you need for dropshipping and start learning the skills that you need for business. You need to learn how to market. You need to learn how to sell. So at this point in my journey, I was back in a full-time job. I was actually in a sales job selling physical products, and this is where I truly learned what sales really was. This is where I learned that when you're trying to sell, you need value. You need to solve someone's problem or make someone's life better. And this is where my next stage of defeat came, which is what I call analysis paralysis. So I tried to get into dropshipping again, but this time with a perfectionist mindset. I really wanted to execute my business with extreme attention to detail. I tried to make every move perfect. I was thinking about every word on my website, every word in my ad copy, every image that's on my website. This time, however, the thing I observed was that it was just actually taking me a lot longer to fail. I was spending months doing things that used to take me a few days. I was spending so much time trying to be a perfectionist that I wasn't actually giving myself time to make the mistakes that I needed to learn from. So this brings me on to my second lesson, which is speed. Instead of ensuring that I was making the right moves, what I was actually doing was overanalyzing every element of my business. So this is where the perfectionist mindset was actually starting to work against me. If you know what to look out for and what elements of your business are important, then it shouldn't be a long, drawn-out business to build a dropshipping business. Instead of painstakingly spending so much time trying to perfect that About Us page, understand the concept of income-producing activities. So what did that mean for my business? It actually meant that I need to focus on the elements of the buyer's process that really matter. So understanding the buyer's mindset means that you really know what areas of your business that you need to utilize your time on. So think about it like this. When you buy something online, do you go onto the About Us page, read how the company was founded, and let that influence if you're going to buy the product or not? So attention spans are ever decreasing. Use speed to identify which parts of your business are going to hook your customer and just focus your time on that. So instead of spending a whole month trying to perfect a website, trying to build a perfect dropshipping store, what I should have really been doing is failing and learning something along the way. Use your time to absorb information. Fail and learn from it. So after understanding those two lessons, things really started to change for me. So after 18 months on and off with dropshipping, trying to test random different products and trying to understand why I was failing, what I then started to do was to try and learn and develop new skills that I could use to build a business. I switched my focus to trying to learn how to analyze my results. From ads to metrics to Shopify, there's a lot of analytics that you can take control of and understand why your business is failing. Because for me, in the beginning, I didn't care what cost per click was. I didn't understand what cost per 1,000 impressions really meant on my Facebook ads. I didn't think of any genius ideas such as implementing some sort of software on my website where I could track every move that a shopper was making when they click on the website. But this time I was a bit more prepared. I had a little bit more budget to spend on my project, so I went in all guns blazing. So after getting a better understanding of what works, I was getting a few successes, but what I was having is a cycle of getting some success with a product and then everything just dies down. Then I just rinse and repeat the whole process. Now, this is where my second lesson came from. I was so busy getting sales that I wasn't focused on the sustainability or longevity of the business. Now, lesson number 2 is give them what they want. My first real winning product presented itself to me in the form of a custom personalized canvas art, which I called the Wolf Splash. Now, everywhere I was looking, people were talking about how to build a store or how to market the product. However, on YouTube, when people were talking about dropshipping, they weren't really talking about how to keep your customers happy or how to get a longer term run of sales. Those types of skills aren't really a focus when people are talking about it online. It just seems to be boring stuff that nobody cares about. The problem with that is that these are the elements that are going to actually let your initial success thrive. Most people see dropshipping now as a short-term, quick way to make money. However, I wanted a lot more than that. I wanted a real business that I was going to take to the future. What major business do you see open up a store on your high street, lose some business and just close down and start all over again? Business is about evolving to grow in a competitive market. So why do we all look at dropshipping as any different? Branding and scalability go hand in hand. So I applied this to my winning product just as it had started dying out. In the beginning, I was actually sourcing the product from AliExpress and the initial sales were validating a real demand for this product. When I did start getting a declining sale, however, I did something different. I didn't just shut down and try and test something new. I thought, what can I do to improve on the product? So I then identified 3 main pain points for my customers that were buying the product. Number 1 was the mediocre quality. Number 2 was the time it took. It was taking around 4 weeks from AliExpress. Third and most crucial one was that my margins were actually really thin. So instead of just dropping the product and trying to test a new one like I did in the past, what I did this time was try and do a power move that was going to sort out all of the problems all in one. In doing this, I was going to increase the value of my offering and build it into a brand, which is what I wanted to do. So here's what I did. So the customer said that the quality of the art was mediocre. It wasn't great. So what I tried to do is go on a mission to try and find someone that could do better for me. I went on Fiverr and Upwork and tried to find an artist that could do a watercolor style painting better than the guy on AliExpress was doing it. So instead of going to AliExpress every time I got an order, this time what I would do is send the customer's photo to the artist that I'd found on Fiverr, who was charging me $5 only, and getting them to do a better quality edit for me. And to cut shipping costs and improve the quality of the canvas, I found print-on-demand suppliers such as Gelato or Printify that were actually able to send it from the customer's home country, cutting down the quality and the shipping time from 4 weeks down to about 7 to 9 days. So my product cost now was a lot higher, but I felt like the value of my offering, I was able to charge a lot more for the product. So a few little tweaks can actually increase the value of your product, keep your business alive, and address the pain points that your customers are having. I also translated the same procedure into my next business project, PixoThreads, which is also seeing the same success. So to recap, when I first tried dropshipping, I translated luck into success after just having a few sales. I then spent months trying to hit a win with no direction. The second stage was gathering skills and trying to absorb more information. I took time and tried to develop this to take it to the next level. After the switch in mindset, I wasn't failing so hard. So here's the 3 things I want you to take away from this. Don't see dropshipping as a business model, see it as a fulfillment method, because that's all it is. Dropshipping is still a business, and if you don't see it as a real business, then you're not going to succeed. Instead of just thinking, I'm going to spend loads of time on this, focus on income producing activities and focus your time on those rather than just fluff. And most importantly, it's not something where you get successful and you just sit back and it becomes passive income. The e-commerce world is ever changing and you really need to grow in a competitive market. To take luck completely out of the equation, know what it takes to launch one product successfully rather than randomly trying out until you fail. Remember, it's your business, so take control. Peace.